still slated to be Nashville, not Memphis.
Oh, sorry, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Memphis, they're both in Tennessee.
Yeah. And the horrible weather, I don't know, was Tennessee hit at all?
Uh,
I know Kentucky got blasted.
they were probably involved in the weather. I haven't heard if they got any tornadoes in Tennessee, but Kentucky, I think, got it the worst, and then Missouri and Illinois and probably Tennessee were involved.
Yeah, because I've heard, 74 deaths in Kentucky alone.
And 100 or more unknowns yet.
Yeah.
Hey, Cynthia, we have two of you on here.
It was my phone, and my phone died on me as I was trying to get on the computer, and now it looks like I'm no longer there. I guess there was a delay. My phone died.
There you go.
It's like, bye.
It sometimes is a delay in disappearing.
That's always fun.
Were you getting happy that you had two Cynthias?
We thought we had twins.
I
Twice
wish.
the excitement, twice the enthusiasm.
I don't know, there's two Anthony's on Facebook, so
Yeah.
they have the same
One of
birthday.
these years he'll get it fixed.
Marion, how much time are you looking at wanting so I can give you cards?
Oh, Rebecca told me 30 to 45 minutes, so I have my timer sitting here, green at 30, and I put yellow at 37 and 45 at red.
Okay, I'll bring up my eye camera and look for my speech timer.
And now I
That
have
is such a handy dandy little thing.
two Bev Wards.
Yeah, I'm having some difficulties here. I'm trying to make my computer work. I don't know why this link has difficulties on my computer, but anyways.
We had a recording of our grandchild in a winter concert, and Mark's computer worked perfectly, and I'm sitting there on the same channel doing exactly the same thing, attached to the same internet. I still can't hear her. It goes da 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 da, having problems connecting. Da 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 da, having problems connecting. You know, I got. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the meeting opened up. Tonight we have a very special guest. And it's Marion Albin Gramlich, and she is an amazing person when it comes to the promotion and the marketing of clubs and other things. And she's graciously agreed to come with us and do that. So let me get, oh, there it is. This up. Okay. So how do you market your club or the club that you're coaching? Should you use Facebook, Meetup, or another type of electronic platform? Before launching any marketing campaign, you need to understand the different platforms and define who you are. We've already talked about our club avatar. Then by refining your message, you can begin being seen. Marion Albin Gramlich is a past district director of District 24 and a former Pathways Guide for Region 4 and District Undistricted. Marion's degree is in journalism and advertising, and after 35 years plus in the field, she launched her company, Make Your Message Right. In addition, Marion is a speaker and a speaking coach. Would you please welcome Marion and her presentation, Define, Refine, Be Seen, Coaching Your Club to Be Visible. Marion Albin Gramlich.
Good evening, everyone. And let's start off, for one thing, if I can get my computer screen to move. Always love that. Define, refine, and be seen. When you're coaching your club, you're wanting to coach it to be visible. Now, marketing, that's the name of the game. And when you're marketing, you need to increase your awareness. You need to have a price point built in, your advertising, your packaging, how you want to look, and all the promotions that go with it. We're going to review.
Mhm. Oh, wait. Cut it out.
There we go. We're going to review some marketing concepts first. And the first one is the old 7 marketing concepts. We're going to start with the product. It's the 7 Ps. You have your product, you have your price, your promotion, your place, your people, your process, and your physical evidence. And this is from, I'm going to be truthful, I researched all of this online because I wanted the most recent information. I wanted to be able to compare it to this because this is how I grew up. You had your 7 Ps. But then we're going to move over to the 4 Cs. Now there's 2 different versions of the 4 Cs. Ladderborn's 4 Cs starts with number 1, the consumer wants and needs. You have to meet the person where they are. What do they want? What do they need? And then you're going to supply the cost to satisfy that. And is it convenient to buy it? And what type of communication? How are you going to promote that? And there's this really nice graphic here, and all of these bubbles merge together to focus on the customer. Now, Jobber and Fahey, this is the one that I really like because number 1 is clarity, a clear, simple idea, simple message. It's consistent no matter how it's promoted, there's a consistent message there. And then it's credible. You always want your marketing to have credibility to it. And it's competitive. Now, when you see this next example, you'll understand why this is my favorite of the 4 Cs. You see the emblem, you know exactly what that is. This is worldwide, it's Nike, and they just do it. When you think about it, how many companies do you know that in 3 words or a swoosh, you know what they're talking about? You know the product. Now you can't say with McDonald's, at least in the USA, you see the magic golden arches. You know what to expect. You know what's in there. You know the price point. And it's up to you. Do you want to go there or not? So a little brief recap on the marketing concepts. We have 7 of them. And then there's Ladderborn's 4 Cs. And then there's Jobber and Fahey 4 Cs, my absolute favorite, because that will help you define, refine, and be seen. Now I'm going to ask anybody, do you have any comments at this point? If you want to, go ahead and raise your electronic hand. We will open up the mic. What do you think about these concepts? And I can only see a few of you. So I'm going to rely upon my chat watcher. How do you think this applies to your clubs? If you're coaching a club, how can you help that club? Did any of these concepts speak to you?
You have to make sure that you're talking to the right market.
True. And we're going to dive a little bit more into that because not only do you want to go into the right market, you want to position yourself to be truthful. Now, branding, that is the name of the game in marketing. When you think of Nike and you think of the swoosh, that is their name, that is their reputation. And when it comes to Toastmasters, it's very similar. The Toastmaster brand, we all carry that same surname of Toastmasters. And we don't want to alter that image. We want to enhance that image. So when you think of advertising campaigns, think of Nike, think of McDonald's. What advertising campaign is most memorable to you? And this one you do have to answer. So shout it out, open up your mic, just let me know. And I know some of you are not from the United States, but there are advertising campaigns wherever you are. They may be more subtle.
The Sonic AirPods.
Okay,
Where's the beef?
I love that. I love that old lady. Now, okay, where's the beef? What company was that? I know what it was, but what company was it?
Wendy's.
These.
Yeah. It's just one of those, and you can, but can you remember the person, the old lady that was in that? And she's like, where's the beef? Where's the beef? And it was just fun. And they had square hamburgers. I think they probably still do. I am not a Wendy's consumer, but they set themselves apart from that because they had the square hamburgers and they did interesting things just to promote their company. And this is why it's memorable, because Wendy's had the old lady who said, where's the beef? 3 words. We've got to have others here. Cynthia, what's a memorable campaign to you and why?
I would say Burger King,
Okay,
because they said that it was grilled.
okay. Bev, what about you?
I think we all recognize the Walmart symbol, being it's Christmas time where it's plastered in our face all the time. And I don't know about you guys, but the best part of waking up is Folgers in my cup. And I'm
There
sure
you go.
that commercial or not, but that's kind of a catchy little tune that's a little bit of an earworm.
And I remember Folgers because sometimes they've have like servicemen coming home or someone's been away and they're sneaking in the house and they're starting the coffee and it just looks so warm and just wonderful.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
There you go. What about you, Mary?
McDonald's, the Big Mac, because everybody knew what was on it. We actually had a science test and the only question was what was in a Big Mac. 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
See, and they haven't used that in years, but you remember it. Okay, is it Fabiola?
Yes.
What about you? I don't know where you're from. I love the beach scene though.
Yeah, it's from the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. What's an advertising campaign in your area that sticks out to you and why?
Well, all those that you have mentioned, I do recognize. At this moment, one that pops up is from, I don't drink, but a Black Label. When you
Okay.
when you see it, that the times don't change, and you always look at that, and it reminds me of time, and things don't change. Those things that you really love,
Mhm.
you can always count on them. That's what pops up to me.
Nice. And what about you, Raminder?
I am into the oil field and lubricant, so I only can consider that Mobil 1. So that Mobil 1 always pop up.
Okay.
One is there and then they show up and then we immediately, whenever lubricant comes, it comes at Mobil 1 to me.
Nice. Yeah, it just depends upon where you are. I know when I was in England and I was studying international advertising, I just thought it was interesting how this big banner had the small family car. And it was a company that they made birth control items. But they didn't say anything about that. All they had on it was their name. And then this little sports car said the small family car. I thought, okay, that was kind of cool. It was different, but quite unexpected too. What about you, Pam? What sticks out to you?
Well, actually, we were just talking about these Jake from State Farm advertising campaign. We were
Yeah,
just- This weekend, we were talking about it, and it's pretty clever and relatable.
yeah. And see, that's what advertising does now. When you go into the top international brands, these guys spend serious money. Now, they did a study on this, and the study was conducted by Interbrand. And what they did is they placed the value of these companies. Now, they did 50, but I just put in the top 10. That's their value. This is in billions. So Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, all these tech companies rose to the top, but especially Apple. I think, let's see, I'm looking at my notes here. They all roughly went up 50% in value, the top three. That is one chunk of change. So you understand branding is so important. And with Toastmasters International, we really don't, they, all of us should not mess with the brand because they have spent a lot of money on how to do it. And it keeps us within the family. It keeps that guarantee of, oh, I'm going to go to Toastmasters. This is what I can expect. I can expect A, B, C. So this is really important because if you protect that brand, that's your name, it's your face, and it is certainly your reputation. Now, I'm going to ask everyone here just to think in the back of your mind, what is the face of your club? Are you corporate or community? What is the mix of your club? Are you male, female? I know Remender, I saw your notes. You said yours is a male only, and then you now have 3 female members, I believe. When I was a Pathways guide, there was one club I worked with. It was either Ethiopia or Pakistan. It was all male. And it was fascinating to me that it was only one gender. But it was even more fascinating to me was that they needed to stop for their religion. And I said, that's fine. You go do whatever you want. You've asked me some questions. I will research it while you go pray, whatever you need to do, that's fine by me. And it worked out to be really nice. Now, think about the face of your club. Are you older, younger, newer members, established members? Do you have a target age? And is there a business background, or are you, I guess, in one corporate or one company, not one company, one club I worked with, they were all the same company. They were all engineer types. And this, I believe, was in Pakistan. So what is the face? How would you describe the club that you're working with? And this is where you can write it in the chat because my chat watcher will be looking at it. So just go ahead right now and type in the chat, what is the face of your club? Either the one that you belong to or the one that you're coaching. And I can see somebody said, oh, okay, community, university. Nice. Cynthia, community ×2.
Multiple
Okay.
clubs,
Multiple clubs.
career-minded community,
There you go.
corporate club, members striving for learning and professional growth.
Nice.
That's very specific. We like that.
It really did. And it's really nice because it helps all the members gel together. Now, I belong to an online club, and we're getting members from across the world. I'm also mentoring another club in England, and they have members from all over.
Mhm.
And it's just fascinating to me how everyone is of the same mindset. And that really figures in when you're working with a club. Personal growth. I like that, Cynthia. I found a way to see the chat.
Yeah. Corporate club members striving for learning and professional growth, open from the community. Mark belongs to too many clubs: community, advanced online.
Ah, there you go. Okay, so when you think about the mindset and the reputation of your club, is it growth oriented? And do they have established mentors? Are they focused on working the educational program? Basically, what I'm asking is, what is your reputation and the mindset? This is something that you need to key in on with the clubs. When I coached a club last year, and as their coach, I had to remind them that they need to be honest in how they approach their club meetings. It was after the election, and in the United States, that was running pretty hot. People were divided, not saying that they're not still divided, but they were very divided at that point. And one of the members came in and asked for extra time to give a presentation. It was granted, fine. But then she launched on about how unfair the election had been. Now, the club was in a rebuilding process, and I want to really emphasize, it's okay to have meetings like that, to have presentations like that. It's okay. If you warn the members ahead of time, if you let your guests know ahead of time. I've been approached by other clubs that there's one club that asked me to join them, and they just want to focus on what's going on in the United States. Good, bad, ugly. That's fine. They're being upfront. That is their focus. The club I was coaching, they were trying to get members. You do not want to open up presentations of that type if you're really trying to recruit members. And my comment was not received well. And I actually, and this is something for club coaches, do not be afraid to step away. I apologized to the club. I said, that's okay. If that's the way you want to run your club, that's okay. But you need to let people know. If I have offended somebody and I need to step away, I will. My purpose is to help the club, not take away from the club. And it was a very honest conversation. I would challenge all of you coaches, you need to be honest with your clubs because they're in trouble. That's why they asked you to come on board. Be honest with your clubs and say, hey, really don't think that's such a good idea, but also don't be afraid to walk away. And when we had this very honest conversation, a lot of the club members said, it made me uncomfortable. I don't want to come here for a downer. I want to come to a meeting to be uplifted. So that is my lesson for all of you. My words of wisdom is to share positive messages and keep that reputation of your club up. Now, how do you promote your name? This is a biggie. There's free things out there. Example is Free Toast Toast. And then there's Facebook, there's Eventbrite, there's Meetup, there's Instagram, and it goes on. So in the chat, what I want you to do is write down, how do you promote your club now? Just go ahead and type it in the chat. Okay, corporate clubs. I've not heard of the social media Yammer. Flyers, Facebook, events, Facebook, personal invitation. I will tell you, personal invitation is the strongest. Flyers at specific spots, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. I've experimented with WhatsApp. That's an interesting one. Free toast, flyers, verbal, email invites. Okay, we've got a good number going through here, which I really appreciate. Because now we're going to look at some of the pros and cons of this. Websites, what I like about Free Toast and things like that is it's completely free. You have to log in, but I love the freedom part of it. And Facebook, that's also free, and you can even create private groups, much like we're a website with Free Toast, you have to be a member to log in. You have the free private groups that way. I haven't really mastered doing agendas on that. Now, Eventbrite, that's pretty good, but you also have to, I know the district runs events on Eventbrite, but sometimes it's just a hassle for me. You have to have an account to see everything. And after having websites, I'm kind of like, I have too many accounts running around here, passwords too. And then Meetup. Now, Meetup is really good because you can keep looking for people and people can find you. But the con of Meetup is when we receive requests from Meetup, oh, I want to attend your meeting. And you try to let them know, oh, you need to go here. They've turned off their reminders, you can't even talk to them. So if the person doesn't have that turned on so you can respond, to me, it's wasted effort. But if you are going to promote your club now, is there any other thing that you would do to promote the club that you're working with? Of all the ones listed here, which one intrigues you the most that you might want to try? I know I was impressed with WhatsApp, that I was judging a contest over in the UK, and that's what they were using so they could communicate. It was online on their web, but they were using that. Radio ads would be nice. The one thing I will tell you with radio ads or with television, you have to be consistently out in front of the public. You can target better with radio for drive time. And I had a former director at the university when I worked in the PR department and did a lot of their advertising. He loved to be on the television or on the radio, but the problem is you have to be consistent. Now, one club that I was coaching, phenomenal. They got in with their local radio station and they got a spot. And they had monthly spots where they would talk about what was going on with the club, how they could help people. They ran a special one time on how to be interviewed, how to interview for a job. It was wonderful. And it was, I thought it was funny because this was the same club that had the person that did the presentation that was quite offensive to and polarizing. Yet they came out and they had this radio spot. And it was wonderful. And it was that positive mindset that I think this club has really reached out and just blossomed even more. I no longer coach them because they hit it. They became distinguished. They did very well. In fact, they were president's distinguished. So how would you want to promote your club that maybe how you're not doing it now? And you can just go ahead and type that into the chat. And I just absolutely think this is fun that I can see the chat.
Okay, Marianne, I'm sorry. It's going to take me too long to type what I want to type.
Oh, that's okay. Then go ahead and
Okay.
chime in.
One of my clubs is a community, but they're based in a business setting,
Mhm.
and specifically government. So therefore, they have a water cooler, what they call a water cooler, which means that they have availability to put ads on their water cooler. So all the employees are able to see it.
Nice.
And what I want them to do, and I've talked to them in regards to this, is not to keep the same flyer up, to change it out, because I know after a while when I receive things, it's like, oh, this is the same old, same old. I'm not even going to pay attention. To be able to make it more festival, if it's holiday season, to make it more alluring for some. And one good thing that they've just done last week was they went and all new hirees got to hear about Toastmasters. So I was proud of them for doing that now that they're back on in the building. So
Nice.
how can I convince them to change that up?
How can you convince them? Okay. If they, let's see, do a challenge with them and change the phrase on how they're promoting the club. Make it one short phrase, like just do it, see you there, or just some phrase that they would use that, and then change it every week. Do they meet weekly, every other week?
They meet weekly, but I'm not for sure from my understanding that they would be able to do it every other week, maybe once every other month, or maybe once a month. I'm not real sure in regards to how all that works.
Have them play Where's Waldo. Make it a game. No, people love games. And I will tell you that when I was an area director, I had 4 clubs, standard thing. 3 of those 4 only had 2 points in January. And I thought, well, guys, you have to work the program. And 2 of them were corporate clubs, 2 were community. And I said, come on, guys, you got to do it. And so I made a game out of it. And I gave them an award. I said, any club that reaches the highest level at the end of this year, so you have 6 months to do it, I will put your name on a plaque. And this is the area B2 challenge or B11 challenge. And I had 1 club that hit 10 for 10, 1 club hit 9 for 10, 1 hit, I think, 6 or 7, and 1 missed it only because they were 1 member shy. Now you're going back to clubs that only had 2. But once they got a challenge, and I mean, what's really sad is the plaque was lost because I had it built so it would be a traveling plaque. But it was one of those things that people are competitive and they want to be recognized. And this was my way of saying, hey, I'm going to recognize you, but you have to put your skin in the game. And it was fun. And that's why I'm saying, play Where's Waldo with them. Make it a game. Figure out a way that when they go to the club meeting, they have to know what was on the water cooler message. And that's why I'm saying change it often, but make it Where's Waldo. Maybe it's what color Where's Waldo was wearing. Doesn't have to even be a word. Maybe it's just use your imagination and see what happens.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm trying to scan through here. Okay.
We had a murder mystery at one of our meetings and then promoted that.
That's always fun.
Yes. So we had to guess who the culprit was, and we had the people that were doing the table topics had to explain how they could not possibly be the culprit, and the evaluators had to explain how their client was innocent and the other two were guilty, you know, and it was pretty funny. They convicted Randy Pryor of being the bad guy, and they didn't predict it was me, and so I got away with murder.
Nice. Okay, Mark, you have your hand up.
Yeah, one of the things you can do is buddy up, get your clubs to buddy up and compete against each other. Back a number of years ago, Marion was on the trio, and my home club came out of the year with 20 and went into the next dues period barely able to renew due to various things, including deaths of longtime members and whatnot. But kind of unofficially, we kind of paired up with one of the big corporate clubs in Omaha, happened to be OPPD, and we kind of decided, okay, who's going to get to President's Distinguished first? We beat them.
Yeah.
But it anything you can do to add some incentive and add some excitement to the program.
I think it's natural for people. They love competing. They want to be number one, or they want to be in the top. I don't care what it is, whether it's Toastmasters, reading books. You think of kids over the summertime, how many books can you read? And they have little attaboys for it. It costs next to nothing to do it. And now this is a case study, and literally this costs nothing because it was all done on Free Toast Toast. This is the new club to District 24. Now, we had a really tough time getting this club started. It's Upgrade Virtually. We started in Gretna, Nebraska. We were going to do a community club. Well, we had our demo meeting, and then it was COVID. Everything shut down. We're like, okay, so we took 6 months and thought, what are we going to do? We came up with this idea of going online, and we had no idea what we were doing. And sometimes that is the best way to do it. Have no idea, no expectations, know what you want to do and go on from there. But now that we've chartered, look at the headline. Welcome to learning presentation and leadership skills through a proven program. That's our headline. And then at the very bottom, it's our goal is to serve you. We have all of this information in here talking about where our club members are from. They're from all over. We welcome anybody. We do not have any educational requirements. The only thing we require, and we say it, is a positive attitude. Anyone can do that. We have members, he was hesitant because English is not his first language. And he goes, I really am, I'm not sure that I'm okay doing grammarian. And I said, hey, my native language is English and I'm horrible at it at times. So it's okay. We all learn together. We're not going to judge you. And it's to your benefit to try, because if you don't try, you're not going to grow. And then the other thing that we do, and this is on our landing page, is we take these wonderful snapshots because we record it. We take a snapshot from the recording. So names are never included. We are always anonymous that way. But we highlight who our best evaluators are, who our best speaker, best table topics master, and we have fun. And you can see this lady right down here. She is absolutely hysterical. Tina, I have never met Tina, and she lives in Gretna. So we live maybe a mile or so away from us, but with COVID and such, I've never met her. But we have fun together. We have an absolute riot when it comes to the meetings. But one other thing that we do that I think is different is our public documents. So when you come over here on the left where you're saying home, we've got meeting information, contact us. We have all that information up there. So with the meeting information, we have it all listed out. We have our dues. Now since we're an online only club, we do not have a checking account. It is prohibited by the Internal Revenue Service of the United States. I don't know how they can operate in other countries, but United States, the Internal Revenue Service says you are online, you do not have a physical location, you may not have a checking account. So we don't. We run it through Venmo, we run it through charge cards, we run it through Zelle. Those are all, the two are banking ones, and then charge cards we would take for international. And then this is so important. I don't care what club you're coming from, but meet our members. This is something I learned when I worked at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. When you're positioning yourself and you're recruiting people to come and enjoy what you have to offer, you need to put a face on that, because you want the people coming in to feel comfortable. There was a university did a horrible thing. They wanted to increase minorities. They recruited hard for minorities. Oh, you're gonna love our university campus. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was white people.
The poor guy showed up and all he saw were white people. He was Black. How uncomfortable for that guy. And why would you lie? Because what happens is if you're happy with the product, you'll tell maybe 5 people. But believe me, if you're unhappy with the product, you're going to go out and you're going to tell 20 people. So that university, lying to recruiting students, did themselves more harm than it was. Now, this is another thing too. If you have all your club meetings scheduled, you don't have to have the roles filled. Schedule them on Free Toast Toast. You will see those club meetings there. Now, this is something that when I was coaching the other club, I said, look, guys, if you don't put it on an agenda, no one sees it. What does that tell them? It tells me you're not active. You're not meeting. They were, but they wouldn't post a meeting until like the week before. So you didn't get the idea that they were really involved. And this is something that I started to talk about earlier. We have all these public meeting forms. You have your club meeting forms, and that are all the ones that you have the timer, you have the odd counter and that. And this one is all the descriptions of what those jobs are. And this came from another member, and I believe she's from North Carolina. Wonderful lady. She goes, hey, I was in this other club and we have these. I said, give them to me. I'll tweak them to go for here. And that's what we did. We published them that way. And then we also have online how to log in to our club website, how to, if you're a new member, what do you need to do? These are all public. And then we have track your progress. Now that master list is, oh, this is gold. That master one right up here, that lists all the projects and pathways alphabetically. And it's a spreadsheet because then it also has it by the path. It also has it by the old path requirements and the new path requirements, because if you look at this closely, you can see effective 10/27. That is when the change was made. So now you have different ones for level 1. And then the pathways help. Yeah, this information is a little bit old, but it's still valid. And if you're not willing to take the time, really, and go on to Toastmasters International and wait and wait and wait, these might be something that would help you out. And then the timing colors, many people don't know where to find them. They're available right there. And then the general information, which is always published on Free Toast Toast. So right now, do you have any questions about Free Toast Toast or how you can promote your club just by being a good member? Because it's all there. And I'm just going to see if anyone would raise their hand, because you'll go to the top of the screen. If not, we're going to go on because I am running late. Yes, Bev.
I'm just checking what you were showing us from Free Toast Toast. That's all public, right?
Yes.
Okay,
That is
so
all public.
I confess I'm going to go there and maybe steal some things. We do most of that, but I'd like to compare what you do against what we do.
Sure, steal away, that's fine. That is perfectly all right. If anyone wants to steal, go ahead. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you though.
Borrow.
Oh, okay, borrow, beg, steal, I don't care. The one thing that to be visible though, and this is where we ran into problems initially with Upgrade Virtually, because I had checked something when we went to charter that I did not want my telephone number being out there. It flagged this and we couldn't get it published initially, but we are now. You need to take advantage of this. And this is where you go into Club Central and it's all the internal documents, because if those boxes aren't checked correctly, you will not be visible. And then because we're an online club, we have a special page. Now, why it doesn't have it in the breadcrumbs where you can go directly to that, or you go to resources, because it does, it says resources up here. I challenge you to find it in resources. I never can. So what I do is I go up into here on the search and go online only. And then it pops up. But this is the thing, you need to let Toastmasters International know about your club. So are you taking advantages? Because that, if you have all the information in there, that will drive business to your club. I can tell you right now with on Upgrade Virtually, we have, and I can show you the spreadsheet, it's like over 100 inquiries to join our club. We are sitting now at 29. We will be 30 on January 1st. It's just one of those things, and people come and go. We normally have 9, 10 people at a meeting. You would think we would have more than that, but that's what happens, life, that not everyone's as involved. So just put a Y or an N for yes or no. Is the information for your club current on Toastmasters International? Or if you don't know, put a question mark. Yeah, I'm seeing Ys. This is good. Rebecca. Rebecca, which club do you not know if it's current or not?
NMC Voices for Change.
I could understand that. Okay. Home club, yes, unsure of others. Okay, as a club coach, what is the first thing you're going to do? Because you cannot see this. In Club Central, as a club coach, you have no access. So you need to really talk to an officer one-on-one, set up a Zoom call with them and make sure they've checked all those boxes. Otherwise, they're not going to be visible. So when you think of Toastmasters, you have a lot of information out here to help you with branding. Has everyone heard of the brand portal? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Okay, got a lot of thumbs up. Because they have the logos and designs. They have your Pathways logo, Pathways badges, Gabble, social. So if you want to go on Facebook, you have your template right there. I don't know that they have one for Instagram, but you never know. So we're going to skip through this. Now, this is all the copy that's up on Upgrade Virtually. That's a lot to read. It's all been condensed down to this. So I'm counting here, it's five words. That's our focus. Our goal is to serve you. Another club that I am a member of, our goal is to focus on the members' goals. So which brand spoke to you, A or B? Real quick, I'm down to 30 seconds. Put it in the chat. Well, Cynthia, you're exempt from the chat. You said you have problems. Anybody, just on mic, which one are you going to go to? If you're looking for a club, are you going to go to A with all that copy, or are you going to go to B with 5 words? There you go. So we're going to skip out. Yeah, I will share all of these. These were all my resources. I will share that. And just one last comment. Coach is positive. The coach is uplifting. They don't dictate what you're going to do, but they're going to uphold all those 4 core values of Toastmasters. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to stop share and give you all of those links. I love the cheesecake.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you were saying something, Rebecca, didn't hear you.
If you have some feedback on our meeting today, would you please send that to me? And I will make sure that it gets passed on.
May I make a statement?
Please.
One of the, for many of you don't know this, that I was doing a lot of traveling due to COVID. After the 1st of January through June, I was traveling all over. Wasn't trying to hit every single district. But one of the things that I found with Free Toast Hosts, so that you can take this back, is that they need to make sure that if somebody requests information or wanting to join, that they have someone that is dedicated. And if that dedicated person isn't available, they need to have someone else there. I requested to join a club. I'm a Toastmaster. And I'm like, okay, I didn't get anything. You know what? Scratch. And I went on because I wanted to go to that district. 12 weeks later, I get an email. Apologies, of course, but what he told me was that he was in the military and he was on duty. Why in the heck didn't someone step up and say, hey, I know you've got to go? How many other people did they miss? How many possible members did they miss? So one of the things is I'm very adamant about this, is make sure that whoever is doing what they're doing is able to fulfill the duty. If not, tell them to get someone else to help them. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Cynthia, I want to say that's really good, because you always need a backup. And I have templates that when I receive a request, that I send it back out, and I use templates to do that. I try and respond within 24 hours or less, because I like to hear back within 24 hours or less. A lot of times I'll return anything within 2, unless it comes in the middle of the night. But the one thing that I know with Free Toast Toast and some of the others, Basecamp managers are what we normally use. So you have your president, your vice president education, and your club secretary. Now on those responses, I don't care if the inquiry came from Toastmasters International or it came through our club website. I copy all officers. And I say in the first line, you're receiving this, and I'm copying all officers. Now you wonder why. Okay, we've got the Vice President of Public Relations. They are supposed to be reaching out to the general public. You have your Vice President membership who is supposed to be taking care of the members once they get in. But if they don't know their contact information, they really can't. Yeah. So in all fairness, that's what I do. I recopy and send it back out. I think Road to DTM, Rebecca and Mark, you're both members there, that I did that as well. We didn't have as many inquiries there because we're an advanced club, but it's one thing that if you can get your clubs in the mode of sharing information, if you have an inquiry, share it back out. At least let the officers know who it is, because there's been times I haven't been able to make the upgrade virtually meeting. At least they know that person, they've had that information in front of them. So But that, Cynthia, I totally agree with you. If someone is taking on that role, if they can't do it, then get somebody to back them up. It's just like having a backup speaker for meetings.
Excellent. We have to remember that our face to the public has to be enough individualized and yet still follow the same principles as the main group. So it's like the NFL, you have all the different uniforms, but they all play the same rules. Same with soccer, you know, the English soccer teams will have the same uniforms and different cities represented. So they all play the same rules. That's the thing that keeps us different from the other leadership type pages where they're trying to promote self improvement, and they aren't self managed. They're we are. So what is that thing that you used to say, Dad, when you were Mark? I call him Dad, even though all the kids are grown up. It was a self-managed,
Oh, yeah, I forget what that is. Self-paced, team-based, self-paced, directed self-improvement program or something to that effect.
there isn't anything else out there like this. And that uniqueness is something that we use to promote Toastmasters, because I'm not going to tell Cynthia what path she needs to take or how many speeches she needs to make. I can provide her with feedback, but I can't tell her what to do. That would not be in her best interest. And so when we are promoting our clubs, we have this unique thing that nobody else has that we can use to entice people to come in. You know, wouldn't you like to go on your own speed? Wouldn't you like to learn what you want to learn? Wouldn't you, you know, if your interest is in public speaking as a profession, we got a path for that. If your interest is in sales and promotions, we got a path for that. Whatever you want to do, we're going to cater to you. Where else are you going to find something like that?
Well, and to add into that, Rebecca, all the paths, all the projects, they're all guidelines.
Mhm.
They're not saying, oh, you need to give an icebreaker on this subject, or you need to give even this. You don't have to give a presentation on any specific subject. You have to meet the markers of that project. And that's where people get confused, because they seem to think that, oh, it's confining me to do this. And no, it's not. Toastmasters from legacy to now is so open on the topic. They have guidelines, they have markers, pointers of where you're supposed to hit those benchmarks. You have a 5 to 7 minute speech. Other times you have 8 to 10. So those are some of the markers. They're not dictating the topic at all.
So if
So
you can
have
find
you,
your,
some of this,
if you can find your prospective members' bleeding neck, what is it they need? And then offer them a solution. You have to give briefings in your group, and you're scared to get up in front of people. You have to run the meetings in your corporation, and they're not used to anything under 3.5 hours with no potty breaks. You know, because of the stuff that we teach here, we give them the power to direct their own improvement. And so it's something that we need to address. find out what you already know what your avatar is. You already know what kind of stuff, type of people that your club attracts. Put your ads where those type of people hang out. Put questions in there that pique people's interest. And like, for instance, the Road to DTM, we were catering to people who wanted to get their Distinguished Toastmaster Award. And we offered them more times to give presentations, the longer formats. Didn't we do a marathon one time where we did 3 meetings in one day?
Yeah, we did, because by Toastmaster rules, you can only give one presentation per meeting. This was at the end of the legacy period. People were cramming to get all their speeches in. So we had 3 separate meetings. We opened, we closed, we waited a couple minutes, we opened, we closed, and we kept going on this. And if you don't mind, I will share this spreadsheet I was talking about because I had a question about it.
Okay, that's her spreadsheets are legendary.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
And it has been updated. And what I'm going to show you here, so this is the distant, what's DL? Leader, dynamic leader,
Dynamic leadership.
effective coach. Yeah, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership, development, and motivational strategy, persuasion, influence, presentation mastery, strategic relationships. What's TC?
Team collaboration.
Oh, thank you. Team collaboration. I've even been through that one. Visionary communication. Now, what you're seeing here is if it's a soft color, it's just an elective. And I'll show you the thing down at the very bottom. Something's here, advanced mentor. Oh, that's a separate project altogether.
Mhm.
And then those are your speech times. And if you want to highlight it this way, then you can go all the way down. Now, here's the difference. This is prior in the bright yellow. That's prior to 10/27/21. This is the new one that's in the gold. So you can see the changes in level 1. But all these keys are down here at the bottom. So this project was required. Here's your requirements now. This is level 2 required. This is, and then level 2. Oh, that one's, they're always, level 2 is pretty regimented. But then we get into level 3. If it's a dark one, it's required. If it's a lighter one, it's not. If it's a dark on level 4, it's required. So you can go all the way here. Your DTM, if you're in Pathways, is a different project. You have to give 2 speeches for it. Here's your mentoring outside. This is free. It's my labor of love and insanity. And I'll leave it at that. But Bev, grab it off of that. It's in that one upgrade virtually. So just grab it. We will share it. We're not going to steal it.
I've already got one of these. It's wonderful.
We're sharing. So anyway, that's what I do. Honestly, I'm a Toastmaster geek.
You think?
I have fun with it, but yeah. I've been in for 10 years.
Somebody's got to be.
We
help the
refer to
rest
that
of
as
us.
toastaholic.
Although sometimes I really want to go have a drink after a Toastmasters meeting or working on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's just fun. And I love sharing. If I can help somebody with this, then that's great. I'm going to put my email in here in case anybody has any questions. This is my Toastmaster email. And there was one thing there, and it was in one of those links that I shared. Because I had a Gmail address, it would not allow me to download it. I really wanted to, but even my business one has a Gmail address. Maybe when I'm earning more money, I'll just go ahead and morph over to the .com, but yeah, it's fun. It's a passion. I look at it this way. If you don't have passion for something, then you might have a very boring life.
That's true.
I'm just passionate about Toastmasters. So I
Do
have fun.
any of you have any further questions you'd like to ask Marion?
They're all
I know how to get in touch with her, and now everybody else does too.
We know where she lives.
You guys literally do because you've been here. Let me tell you a funny story. When they came out we were going to a conference. It was when Lance Miller spoke. I was grabbing a ride with them and they came in my front door. I went out the side door because I was so excited they were already there and I wasn't going to have to drive and make my husband happy. I go barreling out. Well, my heel caught on the door out of the garage. And those big trash cans, I literally wiped out 2 of them. Just boom. And then I felt okay. And we went down to Lincoln and we had a wonderful time listening to Lance. And the next day we went out to a conference and I had to tell the person that I was going to drive, that I needed him to drive because I was on crutches. I had really bruised my foot and it swelled up. You know how embarrassing it is that Lance Miller brought me my food? It was embarrassing.
That shouldn't be embarrassing.
Well, I thought it was embarrassing because, I'm just me. And I look at some of these people that have been world champions and I know they put their pants on the same way I do. But it's just that I'm in awe.
I'm surprised Lance hasn't told a story about delivering food to someone because he parlays many experiences like that into a lesson of some sort. So
Yeah, you're lucky it wasn't Tim Gard.
I sent this is so funny. I sent a text to Tim because has everyone listened to Tim Gard speak?
It's been a while.
And Reminder, have you ever seen him speak? He has this thing about a chicken and he puts the chicken in his luggage and the chicken legs are falling out because he knows that way no one's going to touch his luggage.
Makes it easy to find on those.
Yeah, well, I saw this. I was shopping, Walmart. Walmart's always a fun place to find things. This is the parking lot. Now, if you can see, that is someone's vehicle and it has little legs hanging out.
Ellie the elf.
Yeah, that elf had a bad day because it got caught.
Well,
And I sent it to Tim and I said, oh, just saw this and reminded me of you. Hope all is well. And he responded. It was really quite fun. So in that sense, yeah.
that same conference, Marion drove out with whoever, and then we drove out separately. And got out there, walked into the meeting room, and there Marion is on crutches. And another kind of funny thing, a few months before that, Lance Miller was in a motorcycle accident.
Oh, that's right, he was.
And the way he tells it is when he woke up after the accident, the first thing that came through his mind was, this will make a great speech.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's so much fun.
Okay, well then I will go ahead and